Joining us on this is the Deputy Opposition Leader Sussan Ley. Sussan, good to see you as always. So, yeah, just explain why you're taking this option, why you're going down this route.
We trust parents, Pete, to be able to make the choices that suit them and their families. And the option is still there under our plan for them to put that money into superannuation. But I just remind everybody who, particularly in the Labor Party, who's huffing and puffing about this, is that it's your money. It's not Big Super's money. It's not any superannuation fund's money. It's definitely not the government's money. It's your money. And particularly in a cost of living crisis, the cost of a new baby can put families under financial strain. So that's a choice that they should be able to make, to take that money in cash to help in that moment of time when welcoming a new baby doesn't need to be overshadowed by so many costs that your family is under pressure. But I want to emphasise, you can still put the money in superannuation. Paid parental leave super is for both men and women. And the other option we have suggested or we have planned is 2 weeks of extra paid parental leave.
Yeah, so as Trudy outlined then, I mean, Labor's arguing that this is the start of you walking away from paying super here.
No, it's not, because super is still one of the choices that parents can make. But it's your money. And when I talk to young people, they want to be able to control their destiny and make their own choices. And I believe that women, men, families are quite well equipped to do that. So if they would like to take that money in cash, I think that makes perfect sense. You know, in some of the responses we've seen already, a lot of people are nodding their heads about this.
If they take the money now, though, does this leave workers worse off down the track through compounding?
It's just the superannuation on your paid parental leave. So not every family or couple gets paid parental leave because they're not having a child. So it's not about your superannuation.
It grows.
Well, yes, it does, and your superannuation grows anyway, and we didn't used to have superannuation on paid parental leave, and this relates to paid parental leave, hence the link to having a child and the costs of that, and this portion of your paid parental leave over your lifetime contribution to superannuation. It makes sense, and I know that families will, as I said, be nodding their heads about an option that will help them, particularly in a cost of living crunch.
Just a final one on the mining sector. Big stoush at the moment, Sussan, as you know, between the mining sector and the federal government, the Labor government. Peter Dutton to do a speech today talking about how you guys are going to be BFFs with the mining sector. Just on that, though, and perhaps I'm getting ahead of myself here, I'm just looking at Queensland for an example. What's the problem, in your view, with increasing taxes on mining companies? Because look what it's done to the Queensland economy.
We know that we are the best friend that the mining industry in Australia will ever have. And you only had to be in the Great Hall in this Parliament a couple of nights ago, Pete, to listen to Anthony Albanese's tone-deaf speech, not getting the perfect storm that is confronting an industry that has created much of Australia's wealth, prosperity, national income and jobs right across this country, including Queensland, including the Hunter, including Western Australia. So we have to get this right. And to see that industry, as I said, facing this perfect storm of policies around industrial relations, energy policies, environmental approvals, red tape. Remember, these are global companies and they don't need to invest in Australia. They can choose somewhere else in the world. So we have to get this right. And I know the government has not got it right.
OK. You might not be aware, I'm sure you are actually, Sussan. We're just seeing these live pictures come to us from Melbourne at the moment. I just don't know if you have a thought about this. 25... OK, so look, it looks like it's already starting now. So can we just take some audio here? So, Sussan, just before we go to break, just while you're there, so some 25,000 protesters are expected here today. Look, there's already some stoushes that are taking place. It's very much against this weapons expo. And you got protesters who are protesting for the Palestinian cause, etc. So this seems to be kicking off now. Have you got a thought on this and what you're seeing at the moment?
Well, my thoughts are for law enforcement when confronted with these large numbers, and our police and the people who keep us safe are diverted from all of the things they need to be doing to address this sort of nonsense. These people need to get a job. They need to actually, it's like rent a crowd every single time we have one of these protests, Pete. I back our defence industries every single day of the week, and I know that Australians massively, absolutely do so as well.
All right, Sussan, appreciate that. Thank you. We'll talk to you again soon.